So what's one thing you do in your daily life to become platform agnostic?
I think one of the best things to do if you're social networking in any way, whether it's on Twitter, on Facebook, or if you have a blog, is to ask people a question, to get the conversation rolling. Instead of saying, oh, I'm here at this social media discussion today, having a great day. Instead, when I get a chance to tweet myself or send out a Facebook update, I'll ask people, how do you get your news? We're here talking about social networking and how people get their information. What do you think? How do you get your news? And that starts a conversation, because I think if you're just putting something out there, a statement, it doesn't generate a lot of interactivity, but if you ask people a question or you pose a question, I think it's one of the greatest ways to get the ball rolling, and I think you'd be very surprised to see what comes out of that.
Excellent. And how about the platform today? What part did you feel like the participants really responded to?
I think the part that people responded to the most is a question that anybody who has any interaction online at all thinks about all the time, keeping your private life and your public kind of internet life separate. So I think it's something that will evolve as social networking evolves, as the ability to get content in a million different ways evolves. As somebody who started in newspaper and I do radio and I mostly work in television, there was just kind of one way of doing things. Now content is across so many platforms that your work life and your life online as a journalist or whatever it is that you're doing kind of becomes part of your personal life. So it's not like I have my 9 to 5 and then I go home. Now it's around the clock in one way or another. So trying to figure out how you balance being a person and being a person who provides content online in one way or another, and keeping those two things either separate or finding a way to make them coexist, which is kind of how I try to live, because otherwise it's just too complicated. I think that's something that a lot of people are talking about, so that generated a lot of buzz.
Excellent. And my other question for you was, I heard in your when you were speaking that you started out at Staten Island Advance, and you report New Jersey, and I'm from New Jersey, and I did a lot of work last year with the people at the Staten Island Advance. And was it hard for you to enter what I guess people would consider the major arena, coming from a place like Staten Island and a place like New Jersey, which catch a lot of flack here in Manhattan?
Well, I actually think that starting out in Staten Island, that's my hometown, Staten Island, New York. I was in high school when they started this pilot program for teenage journalists, which, and some of my mentors were here today, and I think back to that experience, and I actually think the transition, a lot of people say, how was the transition between newspaper and broadcasting? Storytelling, no matter whether you put it down on paper or you're in front of a camera, it's the same basic, what I call the little black dress of what we do, the bare essentials. It's classic, it's timeless, it never changes. We just dress it up in one way or another, and we put it on paper, we tweet, we blog about it. So the interesting thing that I think about being from Staten Island, now living in New Jersey, now broadcasting it to New Jersey, I almost feel a sense of responsibility to be kind of a public advocate, to say we're not all like the Jersey Shore. We're not all, the people that are sometimes portrayed in reality TV or whatever you want to call it. I think the reality of the people who are in our business and doing what we do speaks very strongly. So I kind of take it as a good opportunity to show people that Staten Island and New Jersey, which get picked on immensely, have some really, really awesome things happening. So and good people coming out of those places too.